I watched a program last night called Fat Girls and Their Feeders, and it got me thinking how many programs there are on recently about being big. Being fat basically, but I like saying being bigger. Yeah. But there are two programs that I've watched. My Big Fat Fetish, that was on a few months ago, and Fat Girls and Their Feeders, that just take it to extreme, and I mean extreme. This woman was like, what, 50 stone or something like that, and I'm just like, oh my god, how can you be that big? But there's quite a lot of programs on recently, like F Off on Fat. You've also got Fat Families, which is about weight loss. Secret Eaters, that was about weight loss. You got Super Size versus Super Skinny. They're all about weight loss. But F Off on Fat, My Big Fat Fetish, and Fat Girls and Their Feeders are the three that I'm going to talk about. I'll talk about F Off on Fat. That one was like saying the world isn't built for fat people. And it got me thinking, but we're not meant to be severely overweight. There are people who are big, but they're not, like, people would call them fat and say they're overweight, but they're not immobilized by it. And this guy was like, they're bringing in a bigger toilet called the Big John or something. This toilet seat, I am not kidding, it was like that big. I'd be scared I'd fall in the toilet because I'm small. Yeah, I'm all for, like, if you're bigger, that's fine. But when you start to get a bit immobilized by it, you got to think, well, you want to live your life, basically, and you should be able to, and not be, like, restricted because of your size. But I don't really want things to change where everything's big, because then I'm just going to be, like, sitting in a seat and just have a massive gap like either side of me. I don't really want that, or a big toilet that I'm scared I'm going to fall into. This brings me to the two other programs that I want to talk about. My Big Fat Fetish I'll talk about first. Yeah, My Big Fat Fetish, that show kind of shocked me. And I've got it paused on my TV and I just want to show you, and I want to know if anyone else is kind of shocked by this. Okay?
Any more, Lane?
Just give me a few minutes here. Oh, yeah. Daddy, we need to stop.
In an age when most people want to lose weight, there's a group of women who actually want to get fatter.
I love the way my belly feels, how big and heavy it is. It's an orgasmic feeling to be that full. I mean, it's an intense sexual feeling.
Not only do these women love their fat bodies, but there are many men around the world who admire them and want them to gain weight too.
You know, I mean, this right here, to me, is sexual. This is everything.
Everybody has a fetish, even you at home. You got a fetish.
In the last 10 years, an online industry has grown around the fetish of fat women. It began in America and has now arrived in Britain.
You look great!
Yeah, I kind of wanted to show that because I don't think I could have explained it. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else is, like, kind of shocked, because I didn't think this sort of thing existed. Yeah, I didn't think this sort of thing existed before I saw the programme. Yeah, but what I liked about the programme is because the girls on it were really confident, they were comfortable in their own skin, and they had, like, guys that liked them because they were big and weren't, like, calling them fat and telling them to lose weight, which you hear about a lot. So I kind of like that. I wish I was that confident. But it kind of brought up the topic of feeders, which I'm going to talk about, because the program I watched last night was called Big Girls and Their Feeders, and that really kind of upset me a bit. It was about the feeders, and one of the girls was saying, well, I don't like the way I look, but my husband does. And I think, oh, you should be comfortable in your own skin. As long as you're comfortable in your own skin, I don't think you should change for anyone else but yourself. Yeah, and it also brought up a topic of a girl who fell in love with a guy who was a feeder, and basically imprisoned her in her own home for like 2 years, and by the time she managed to get help, the police basically had to cut her out of her own house because she was so big, and she's got various health issues and can't ever be independent again because of the health problems that came from gaining weight. Yeah, and I saw the BBW thing on My Big Fat Fetish, and some guys like to see the girls changing and gaining weight, but I think it should be that whoever is gaining the weight should be in control of how much they gain, not someone else. So the whole feeder thing I kind of disagree with, but as long as the person who is gaining the weight is happy, that's all that matters really. But I don't think they should be forced to do it, which kind of upset me, and I think it's wrong. I think the whole feeder thing is wrong, or I may have got the wrong end of the stick. If anyone knows more about it than I do, please tell me. Because all I saw was the programs that were on TV. My Big Fat Fetish and Big Girls and Their Feeders were the two about feeders. So they're the only things I've seen, but in my opinion, from watching them programs, I think the whole feeder thing is wrong. I'm gonna choke. Okay. My dad's gonna think I'm talking to myself.